It's mail day, and this time it's a big order from SGC. All right, good day, everybody. Today it's another mail day, but this time it is a bit different. Sent a bunch of cards over to SGC, vintage cards, to get graded. Before I get into that, if you could, please do me a solid, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Help me grow this channel. So what I've got in here are a bunch of vintage cards I sent off to SGC. And when I say vintage, they are really vintage. We're talking 1949 Bowman, as well as some from the 50s, or early, maybe mid-50s, I can't quite recall. But what I do recall from the submission is that, based on my estimations, my eye, I am going to be pretty comfortable, happy if they come back threes. Just given the age of these. So I'd be really happy if there are any that are above that. Now, I know there are at least one or two that could easily be a 1 based on the condition on the back, but they're just good players regardless. So if I have any of those, I am not going to be disappointed. Now, a quirk with the SGC app, when you go in and check on the status of your order, because this one took 3 weeks. I know they've been running a bit behind because they got a bit more orders that they've had to deal with lately. Last month, they graded a ridiculous amount of cards, so they're trying to work through their backlog. But anyway, because of the quirk of their app, I did get to see one of the grades. So I know there's a 2 in here. Hopefully it's one of the ones that I thought was a 1. Well, we'll see what happens. The last time I did submission, and I actually recorded a video, and it was just all black. There was nothing to see. So hoping this works out a whole lot better. But anyway, the last submission, again, hoping for 3s. Most everything was a 3. Had one disappointment with an authentic. But I had a bunch of others that were 4s, 3.5s, and even a 5.5. I can't recall if I had a 6.5, but anyway, it had some really good surprises in there. Hoping for some good surprises here as well. So, enough of me talking and staring at a box. Let's go ahead and get into this. I just started off with that, but yep, it's quite heavy. A lot of slabs in here. Open this bad boy up. All right. Love the tuxedo look. Look at that. Talking about enormous. This is the biggest order I've ever submitted for grading. All right, I am going to, mind me a second here. This is going to be a little bit on the big side, but I wasn't prepared for this, so I'm going to use this big piece of cardboard here. Do a nice gradual reveal. Get this rubber band out of here. All right. So let's start off with the first one. Get some of these just set up over here. All right. First one, we have got ourselves a 1952 Bowman Larry Doby, a 2.5. This is one that I should be pretty happy with this. I believe seeing the markings on the back, this is probably one I estimate would probably grade fairly low. So this, I would say, either meets or slightly exceeds expectations. It's a nice looking card. Gets the 0.5 for the visual appeal. Basically, it is a 2 with good visual appeal. Another authentic. This one, minimum size not met. This problem I had with one of the others, that last order. Now, these are not cards I've had in my own collection. I had purchased these from father of a friend and neighbor. So hopefully that's the only authentic. Got a 4, so this kind of beats expectations. A Hank Barry, 1949 Bowman. 4.5, happy with this. And even with the corners the way they are. Gus Niaros, 4.5, 49 Bowman. I'll take that as well. All right, next up is a 3. So this is kind of where I was imagining. Now this is one I believe because of this crease right here, I had anticipated a lower grade. So Joe Haynes, number 191. So this is one that's kind of exceeded my expectations. So I will not complain about that. Don't know if I'm going to have enough stands here. Number 299 Ed Lopat, a 3. Again with the issue with the corner, but again, probably a little bit better than I expected. Again, I was targeting 3s, but you know, some of them I felt like I might have been taking a gamble here. So Gil Hodges, another 3. Again, sticking with the 49 Bowman. This one's a 2. Maybe this is one I saw. Pee Wee Reese. It's probably because of the really bad off-centering. But this is a player that I know people are after. Going down the stack, another 4, George Kell. So it's interesting how that one got a 2. I believe that one has got a bit rougher edges than this one, so that may have been the difference between that one getting a 4 and this one. I mean, that one getting a 2 and this one getting a 4. All right, next, 2.5. So this is one I think I was anticipating. I wouldn't be surprised if I got a 1. So here getting a 2.5 is a huge win. Now, why did I think this might get a 1? Well, got the edges here, but also have the marking on the card. And there's a bit of a, I don't know if this is probably from the printing, the little line right there, but this black mark right there, this is why a 2.5 is actually a good surprise for me. And being Yogi Berra, that one's gonna have a nice return, I believe. Next up, Bob Feller, 49 Bowman, a 3. So except for a few instances, I've tried to avoid submitting anything that I thought might grade less than a 3. You know, that Yogi Berra is an example of one that I was willing to take a chance on. The last time I submitted, there was a Stan Musial. I knew it was going to be 1, came back a 1, but the return on that for getting that graded was just too hard to miss. Okay, a Marino Pieretti, 2.5. Again, I think it's probably the rough edges, and there is a crease on the back, but we had some with the crease on the front that's graded a bit higher, but again, I think it's the edge here. So far, even though we've got a few low here and an authentic, I think I'm generally tracking with what my eye was telling me. Cecil Houston, 3. Cecil Tex Houston. All right, next up. Eddie Wakus, 1949 Bowman. This one's a 3 as well. You can see, I mean, a 3 still looks very good. It's still a very good looking card. So to get anything higher than a 3, you know it's in great shape. Speaking of going higher than a 3, we got a 4 here, Ralph Kiner. Now this one has a bit more rounded edges than the Eddie Wakus, but it is a nice crisp looking card here. Sea of Slabs. Got a 4 here for Ina Slaughter. That's a nice looking card. Another 4, I'm happy with that. Again, anything higher than a 3, I mean, a 3 is a win in a sense, but anything higher than a 3 is definitely a win. Bob Lemon, this is a 1. This is one I took a risk with. And I think this meets expectations for me on this one. But being the player it is and a nice looking card, I went ahead and got this graded anyway. We'll see if that panned out for me, or if that was a loss on me, you know, in terms of cost of grading. We'll see what happens there. Running out of space. We've got a 3.5, a nice looking card here, Robin Roberts. 3.5 on this one. I consider this a slight win. Again, because 3 was what my eye was telling me, where I was aiming for, really. 5, this is a big win. That is a nice looking card there. George Kell, 1952 Bowman. I'm gonna put that up there. I'm not gonna put that on the table. That's a nice one. All right, you have to be selective what I put up on the stand now. Warren Spahn, a 1. Interesting. Oh yeah, no, this one I knew was going to get a 1. Got the markings on the back, but I saw the potential here in terms of return on this versus raw is too good to miss. We'll see how that pans out. Panned out well for the Stand Museum, but yeah, a 1 for that one. Yogi Berra, 3 for the 1949 Bowman. That's a nice looking card. Even with the red on the, well, running on the back. But it is a nice looking card. All right, got another 1. This one I knew was going to be 1. Look at all the, it might have been from a newspaper or whatever it was, had ink transferred to it, but it is a nice looking card nonetheless. Sought after player. So hopefully someone will see this and fall in love with it. See what happens. All right, penultimate card. This one is the one. This one I knew. This one meets expectations, but it is Hank Aaron. It's a 1955 Bowman. If it had graded anything higher than a 1, I would have been shocked. I mean, you can see the creases, you can see really rough corners there. The only thing I was afraid of was it maybe being authentic, like that one back in the back. But this one meets expectations, and it should be a good return on that. It's a nice looking card. If anything, even though some of these came back as a 1, you've got the slab that's protecting the card, and that's a win right there for the card itself. All right, last card. Let's see what we got. It is Don Newcomb. Came back at 3, which is, I think, a pretty good, decent grade here for the 1952 Bowmans. I don't, at least where I've been the guy I've been sourcing these from. They tend to be a bit rougher shape. So this one was in nice shape. The slouch isn't exactly all that, all that great a look for him, but it's a nice looking card nonetheless. So that is my massive SGC order here. I got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20. 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and 25. So that is 25 slabs back from SGC. Huge vintage order. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, and to never miss any future videos, go ahead and hit that subscription button. Be on the lookout for these on eBay as I start gradually putting them up. And I will talk to you later.